people may say, hey, you can't sit here, you can't sit with us. And you take that to heart and say, well, if that person is there and they're occupying this space and they're telling me that I can't sit with them and I'm not welcome, then maybe that's true. That's also a lie from the pits of hell. Hello, my name is Mobasiniola. Welcome to my channel. Come on in, take a seat, let's get to know each other. I am a recovering perfectionist whose main symptoms are self doubt, second guessing myself, and fear of failure. Actually, let's throw in a dash of procrastination in there. I have 10 years, actually, let me be honest, I have 10 years plus, more than 10 years worth of notes and ideas written down, carved out, sketched across notebooks, phones, the cloud, and they possess all these different ideas that I've always had, and always had the desire to do. And to be honest, I've had the talent and the vision to get it done. But you're wondering what got in my way. The answer is me. I got in my own way. Things were not necessarily perfect. I didn't always feel like I had the right resources or the resources that were influential to my vision or, aligned with my vision. And that put me in a place where I was like, oh, I'll get to it. Just keep pushing it off, being ridiculous. So here I am in 2023. It's so ironic because I just found a note of, several weeks ago that I wrote to myself in 2012 when I was still in college. And the gist of the note was like, hey girl, how you doing? Did you start that YouTube channel yet? Are they loving you? Back then I wanted to do talk YouTube, makeup YouTube. I just wanted to be part of the girlies. I loved and was living off YouTube in college. And I wanted to join the ranks of creating content, but I got in my own way. So I thought that I am the perfect person to tell you the reasons why you shouldn't put yourself out there, you shouldn't make your dreams happen, and you should not chase those ideas that you have been haunted by. Let's get into it. One of the many reasons that I've given myself over the last 10 years to not get it done is there is no space for me. It's too saturated. There's no space for me. This person is doing something similar. This person is already doing that. And I would just talk myself out of it because I would see other people doing it and determine that because they're doing it, that's the only person that can do it. I can't possibly add anything. And that is an incredibly false narrative that just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean I can. I think that we get that from, when you're younger and they're like, oh, you're copying me. You know how kids are. You're copying me. Why are you doing this? You're just doing this because I want to do this. And I think that we carry that very childish mentality into adulthood, thinking that if someone else is doing something that we are interested in or that we want to do, that we can't do it as well. And that's a narrative that we need to completely dispel and throw in the garbage. Okay? Throw it in the garbage. Get rid of it. It's not true. There is absolutely space for you. There are 8 billion plus, more than 8 billion people in the world today. And with 8 billion people plus in the world today, imagine where people can benefit from what you have to offer, your unique perspective, your unique experience. Think about the ways that you can change the lives of 10 people, 100 people, 200, 1,000 people. And that may exactly be your calling, your destiny to just do that. Or maybe millions. Out of billions, you still might influence billions. With what your ideas are, with what your inventions are, with what your perspective is. It is so possible to penetrate and allow space to be made for you by simply showing up and finding out who needs to have what it is that you have to offer. Plus, might I add, there is no one like you. You are unique, and even if someone else is doing something that you are interested in and you do it, you're not doing it the same way. You're doing it differently. You're bringing something new. You're adding your own flavor. Your spice tastes like your spice and it doesn't taste like anybody else's. All right? And that is the beauty of understanding or accepting that there will always be space for you, even in spaces that people tell you that there is no space for you. And I think that that's also one of the challenges, right? That people may say, hey, you can't sit here, you can't sit with us. And you take that to heart and say, well, if that person is there and they're occupying this space and they're telling me that I can't sit with them and I'm not welcome, then maybe that's true. That's also a lie from the pits of hell. If you want to do something, if you have the desire, the idea, the passion to do something, and it's something that you uniquely offer, it doesn't matter what you say to yourself about there not being space for you or what anyone else tells you about there not being space for you. You should still go for it. Nobody has autonomy over anything, any industry, any idea. No one has autonomy over that. We all have something unique and special to add, and we should do that unapologetically, authentically, without thinking, oh, no one's gonna listen to me. Another way that I got in my own way was by saying that I'm too young or I'm too old, that time has passed. I don't know if that train is coming back around for me to hop on. And that was incredibly discouraging, just talking myself out of it. 10 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, it was, oh, I'm not sure if anyone's going to listen to me. I'm not sure if anyone's going to really value what I have to say. Maybe I'm not an expert. Maybe I don't know any information, and really just downplaying what I had to add, already giving myself all the negative comments that I was expecting people to give me when I added my voice to the conversation. So instead, I became quiet. And then 10 years later, I'm like, I'm not sure. So much has happened. Life has happened. And sometimes getting so caught up in the motions of life, wondering, is there still that opportunity for me? Is there still space for me? Is this the right time? I haven't done this with all these years, and maybe people feel like because I don't have the experience, or just talking myself out of it by saying I'm too young, I'm too old. And one of the people whose testimony is so beautiful to me, there are a lot of examples, but one of the people who's the most beautiful example to me, at least right now in my life, is Tabitha Brown. Seeing the way God has moved in Tabitha Brown's life has been so inspirational to me, because Tabitha blew up during the pandemic. She was like on everyone's screens, inspiring people for the first time to try being vegan, to get interested in vegan things, and really just sharing herself and her joy and her light and her family. And people really resonated with her. But she didn't just come out of nowhere. Tabitha had been trying to be an actress, I believe, for almost 15 years and had been unsuccessful. And even just 6 years ago, Tabitha was an Uber driver. She was struggling. She shares that she was struggling mentally and financially. She didn't know if she was coming or going. Even physically, she was having health challenges, and that's where, changing to being vegan really came in for her. And just 6 years ago, she could not even imagine where she is today. And to see the manifestation of all the things God has planted for her in her life, and to see that it sprouted so many years after she started, so many years after her desires, so many years after what she planned, is amazing. And it reminds me that no matter how much time has passed by, no matter if you thought you were too young or you're too old, or that, too much tragedy has happened to you, whatever way you're trying to disqualify yourself, none of it matters. None of it matters. When it is your time, it is your time. And when it's your time to shine and you take it, it's going to be beyond what you can believe, beyond what you can imagine, beyond what you originally planned to explore. And God is totally capable of doing that. And you have to trust that it's not time to give up on yourself. But more than anything, it's never too late, because you are alive. I'm alive, you're alive, we still have life, we still have breath, Our lungs are still pumping, our heart is still going, our brain is still working, we are still alive. So it is not too late. We're not too young, we're not too old. We were created for such a time as this. The time is now. Reason number 3 that you should not pursue your dreams and you should not get it done. There's no time. There's no time. I'm so busy. I don't have time for this right now. Maybe later. Procrastination, procrastination, procrastination. Maybe never getting to it. There is no time. The funny thing about there being no time is that the amount of time you spend telling yourself that story, time is literally passing you by. And then a year goes by where there was no time. 10 years goes by when there was no time. 20 years goes by where there was no time. And ultimately, if you had just started with the little time that you had, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour plus, and it just grew over time, you just got started so that it can grow, time would have made space. And we realize often that we talk ourselves out of things so powerfully that we begin to believe these constructs and these limits that we put on ourselves. And ultimately, we have to check ourselves and say, well, am I willing to make this a priority? Am I willing to put myself out there? Am I willing to take the leap, take the risk, be bold, be confident, and ultimately just say, let's see what happens? Often, some people are even waiting for the perfect time. I'm waiting for the perfect time. I'm waiting for everything to align. I'm waiting for this thing to happen in my life. I'm, just always pushing the marker or creating this very unrealistic goal of what life will look like before you get things done. And there is never a perfect time to do something good. It's never a perfect time to just get started. If you just get started today and you just keep going tomorrow or next week and build a pattern and build a life around pursuing this, you never know where it can take off. You never know how you will be blessed. It's like some people go to college, right? They go to college. College is about 4 years to get your bachelor's if you go full time. And sometimes it takes people 10 years to get their bachelor's. At the end of the day, you got their bachelor's, the other person got their bachelor's, and that's all that matters. It doesn't necessarily matter if it took one person 4 years and it took another person 10. Same thing with starting a business. Sometimes it takes a person who starts one day, it takes them maybe 10 years to see profit or 10 years to really grow, while another person has an idea that's just sitting within them and it never grows because they never got started. So time and saying there is no time is really a construct that we are in power of. That as long as we're alive, as long as we prioritize, even if you just start small, you don't realize how much all of that adds up. But if you don't start at all, nothing is adding up, nothing is growing, and that time that you're claiming doesn't exist continues to pass you by while you fill it with other things that you may not be passionate about, just going through the motions and letting life. Now, there are so many other reasons why you shouldn't get started, so many other excuses that we could add into the conversation, but I just got one more for you for today. I don't have what I need. I don't have what I need. I don't have the resources. I don't have the connections. I don't have this. I don't have that. It doesn't fit in my perfect vision. This is where perfectionist comes and really haunts me, and where I say that perfectionism is often the hindrance of progress, because if you don't have everything in your vision of what you expect and what you want to do, then it's just worth nothing. And that is not correct. Often, there are so many beautiful things that are produced from people being scrappy and resourceful and just starting with what they have. You don't always need everything, the grand thing that's in your vision. You can grow to that. It's completely an opportunity there for you to start small and to grow and grow and grow beyond your wildest dreams. And telling yourself that you don't have everything you need, you don't know the right person, like, come on, we're also in 2023 where there are so many things that are accessible to us. There's so much information that's accessible to us. There's so many people that are accessible to us. Like, literally, you can slide into someone's DMs these days, and you'll be surprised who is interested in talking to you, giving you some more information. Just hopping up to YouTube University. There's so many people around the world who I've seen have learned everything on YouTube University, from designing clothes, making shoes, creating gardens, homesteading. There's so many things that people are learning in the world by sheer determination, being resourceful with what they have, and saying, you know what, I have to start somewhere. I never know where this can go. And that's the beauty of just working with what you got. You're never going to have everything. I mean, even if you do, it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. And accepting the imperfections of everything is also accepting beauty in the process, beauty in the journey, and knowing that just because it's not what you envision immediately doesn't mean that it's worthless. So let's get out of our own way. Keep pushing, keep moving forward, and taking all these reasons why you shouldn't and throwing them in the garbage. Please. Let's have mercy on ourselves and go forward and live a bit differently so that we can be proud and not have all these beautiful, amazing ideas, inventions, thoughts that are within us die. I know you're wondering, what can you expect from my channel? Well, I am a first-generation Nigerian American Christian Bible study teacher, wife, first-time mom to a toddler, entrepreneur, oldest sibling, so head of family HR. I am the strong friend who also doubles over as a life coach. I love Black people. I love African people, our culture, our diversity, the beauty and ingenuity. I am passionate about the diversification of the narratives of Black people in media and entertainment. I am a foodie and a cupcake snob, former makeup artist, avid reader since the days of Babysitter's Club and Fly Girl. If you know, you know. I'm terrible at self-care, but I pursue it anyway. Luxury real estate makes me swoon. I write, direct, watch, binge, and appreciate the artistry of TV and film, but music is my first love. I'm conquering the spirits of fear, procrastination, self-doubt, and getting in my own way, declaring this as my God did era. So you can expect anything within that, but I'm limitless. So it's going to be much more. Join, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media, join the community. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here.